Episode 142, no, 152.
152.
What? That's craziness. It's craziness. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I just got a notice on my phone that EriDan's live on YouTube.
Whoa, you should tune in. Everybody should tune in. Yeah, it's another night to talk about yet another movie.
Another movie, another night.
191 movies we have reviewed on this lovely gathering of the minds.
We have to do something for movie 200.
What?
So, movie 200 has to be something big.
I agree. We'll just do a rewatch.
Maybe we should just end.
Movies.
Maybe we should just end at 200.
Just cut it.
Just be like, you know what? We've done 200.
That's good. That was a good run. That's a lot of streams don't get that.
And we'll officially call it the EriDan 200, and that list will live on forever.
No, not going to happen. Right. People love this too much. They can't get enough. In fact, people join us every week because it's so easy to do. If you can do it. A kid could do it. A child, yet a wee toddler could join us and join in and talk about Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
Honestly, I was shocked that we hadn't done this movie already. Because I watched this movie like just a couple of years ago, and I don't know why, and I'm blurry. But we didn't, so we did it now. And so we're going to talk about Napoleon Dynamite. We would love you to join us and share your thoughts. EriDan Live, EriDanLive.com. Join us. Come on in.
Leon, is Leon short for Napoleon? Is that where the name Leon came from?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Or maybe Nappy.
All right.
Are
we going to bring people in? Speaking of Nappy.
Speaking of Nappy, that intro is like the music on that is really quiet.
It is a little.
It's a little like I really want to take a nappy.
What's
up, bro?
All right. This will be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be a night. I have a feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we forgot to guess Adam's score before we go on, but that's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. You can throw it in the private chat if you want. You see, if you join live, you get to be part of the private chat as well. There's so many perks to joining our lovely little family.
Yes.
Speaking of family,
yeah, you can learn the EriDan secret handshake and everything.
There actually is one.
You could, but then you'd have to be,
there's a whole. It's a whole
thing. It's a very complicated. It takes years to learn. Yeah. It's like you think the cup routine is hard, right? Wait till you try to learn the EriDan handshake.
Speaking of complicated,
Napoleon.
That's Scott? Yes, it's Scott.
It's Scott. As a baby, he'll grow. Bring Scott back.
What? I see this as an absolute win.
It is an absolute win.
Live from Los Angeles.
What?
Turn your phone the other way.
I think that's a green screen.
Turn it the other way. Am I that ugly? Okay, here I go.
No, not that way.
It's so much better.
I meant go horizontal.
That's it.
All right. I can't do that.
What kind of filmmaker are you shooting vertical video? I'm appalled.
Well, I mean, I can keep the phone like this for the rest of the time if you want. Why not?
That's right. I forgot you don't have an iPhone. Never mind.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
You know what? You have a point. I have to be as sideways as this movie, so let's get started. I'm okay.
Wow.
We should watch Sideways sometime. That's a good movie.
Oh, that would be a good movie to watch.
That would be, but we didn't. We watched this thing. Napoleon Dynamite, 2004, not 2001. John Herder and Haley Duff and everybody in between.
Hater. Don't be a hater.
I won't be a hater. I could be a hater. Budget of only $400,000. That's what Dan spent on Takeout last week. And the worldwide gross of $46 million. Critics at a 72. Audience at a 74. Stacy, this is all your fault.
Yeah, I know.
Why we had to gosh, why did
But
we have
let's-
to watch this movie?
Gosh.
First off, it's
Gosh.
Haley Duff, not Hillary Duff.
It is
God.
Hilary Duff.
The reason is because I've been trying to watch it since like 2008.
For 15 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
Is this a movie
literally.
you've never seen before?
That's half my life.
And yeah, shh. And because it was at the library and people would bring it back and I'm like, oh, we should watch this. And I'd bring it home and it would sit here and I'd take it back. Then Emma watched it in the 10s sometime, 13, 14. It's so good, Mom. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch it someday. So I brought a stack of movies home from work last week and it was in the pile. So it got watched. It got watched. Finally.
It is a pile.
And there's your tagline. It was in the file.
You need an obligation. There's no way you're going to watch it unless you either we got 7 people watching it with you. Got it.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a movie that obviously was a phenomenon for like 6 months, and obviously a lot of people went and saw this movie to get it from such humble budget to such a massive onslaught of money being brought in at the box office.
John Hader got $1,000 to do this movie.
Yeah, I know.
Lucky.
And typecast for the rest of his life. So there's something else he got from this.
Another
He
crazy
also
one.
made a pro and a white guy look good.
Yeah, you got a perm. John Hader has a twin brother, and the guy that plays Pedro also has a twin brother. They're both twins,
Identical twins.
identical twins. Like they could have all been. Like, where's that movie?
Could have been
How
their
they
own-
not done Prince and the Pauper yet? Exactly.
So the reason I was correcting you on Haley Duff, and Scott, I don't know if you even have seen this before.
Yeah,
You ready?
I'm ready.
Can you see that?
Oh.
Wow.
Interesting. Look how happy he is.
So that's
Wow,
that's-
it's nice to know that art schools are getting hired to do promotional covers for promotional movies.
well, Chris.
Now I have to
looks
see what
nothing
Eric's
like
real
that.
wife looks like.
Wait a
He
minute.
looks like a mannequin.
Is
That's
that
I was gonna say, what is wrong with all of this cover?
that's Chris from your
Yes, Eric, who
Mm.
played Chris, starred in The Wedding Pact with Haley Duff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that
Whoa.
makes him larger than life.
Very
Wow.
See that?
cool.
And
That
right
looks
there, you
nothing
can't
like
tell if
him.
it says The Wedding Race, The Wedding Pace.
Wow,
the
that is
wedding...
one of the worst covers of a movie I've ever seen in my life.
It looks like she's choking him.
It's so bad in so many ways.
That's
Wow,
Why is she wearing white against a white poster?
It's
Well,
off-white.
that's really bad.
What's funny is
It's
his
really
name in that is Mitchell, and her name is Elizabeth. And Chris's wife at the time, her name was Elizabeth Mitchell. Still
Oh,
is
that's funny.
his ex-wife.
Oh,
I don't know if
wow.
that was a coincidence or not.
Did anybody else watch the original 8-minute student film that was the precursor to Napoleon Dynamite?
I did not.
I know about it, but I didn't watch it.
Did anybody watch the cartoon that followed years after?
No.
Did anybody here watch the Honk for Funk commercials?
The who, the what?
No?
No.
Okay.
Honk for
Just
Funk,
me and
is that a
maybe
Seattle
Dan.
thing?
Yeah. They did parodies of Napoleon Dynamite for like 3 years. So every time I was watching The Simpsons during high school, I would see a Napoleon Dynamite impersonator just come up and say, "You gotta go check out their deals, like 0% financing for 12 months. Lucky."
So, That didn't
Chickens
get
have
awful.
talons. Here's another interesting thing. Look at this cast. It gets big.
They're
And
unknown.
then
oh yeah.
every kid in the school, all 180 of them got a credit.
Aw, that's nice. Very cute.
Dang.
Wow.
Keeps going.
There you go.
Keeps
And every
going.
once in a while, you get one with a headshot.
Keeps going. Keeps going.
Wow.
They seem to do that for High School Musical.
There it is.
Well, and they only have a few more credits left of John Hader.
Yeah.
He's continued working just on increasingly smaller projects.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, hopefully get
I just
paid.
wanted to come back playing a serial killer and win an Emmy for it.
That would be a
Have his own little
Grammy.
Brendan Fraser story,
I mean, it would be an Oscar, but yeah,
possibly.
unless it's a TV show.
I think it was the
7 days
Iowa
play.
State Fair also ran a whole series of commercials with Napoleon and Pedro.
Yeah.
I think so, maybe.
So
If
Stacy,
you come to JCPenney for Black Friday, all your dreams will come true.
since this was your first time, Stacy, what did you think?
Well,
Yeah.
It started off very, very slow. Very slow. But the weird thing is it kind of grew on me a little bit. I didn't get really annoyed with it, which I thought I was going to immediately.
Yeah, wait till the second watching.
There will not be one. But it didn't get as bad as I thought it would. And I thought, oh, that didn't turn out half bad. Okay. I know people will disagree with me on that, but I was really expecting a lot more of it from how popular it was. But with the beginning of it being so slow, I really expected it to tank very quickly. And it just kind of went, it didn't tank.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It doesn't have the extreme drama that you might get worried that a movie like this would have.
Right.
Where it could actually be very disturbing or upsetting.
Exactly.
One way or another. It is kind of very even all the way through.
Unless you just find any of the characters too annoying, which it sounds like Adam found Napoleon just too great.
Napoleon absolutely gets annoying.
It's a pleasant little movie. It's really what it is.
The best way to describe it is that essentially if an episode of Letterkenny had the pacing of Ben-Hur, just lots of pauses, lots of just moments where there's just awkward things happening and they're just repeating it over and over again. And it's just like they take forever to get their lines out. But that's kind of the charm of it, kind of the humor of it.
I was really afraid of the direction Uncle Rico, is that his name?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Rico. Yeah.
I was really afraid of the direction his character was taking. I really thought it was going to get really creepy with Deb, and then it didn't. And I was like, okay, good. Because I just don't need any of that drama and stress. And I just don't need any creepiness. And I thought, because the movie was fine, and you don't need that junk. And you never know what's going to happen in Hollywood anymore.
Well, another thing is that if you think about it, other than the characters that were just just had no real dimension, like Summer and her boyfriend, all of the main characters at the end of the movie were basically better off than they were at the beginning. Rico's girlfriend came back to him, at least for now.
Right.
Kip found a love.
Yes.
Napoleon found some friends. It was really kind of sweet.
That's what I thought too. I was so worried about Kip being sent off with just hooking up with some crazy person.
Just ignore that post-credits thing. That was just junk.
And I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that.
You can't say that. That's like ignore the first half of any movie.
No, that was added after it was even an early release, and it just didn't need to be there. That bugged me.
Come on.
Well, I didn't see anything post credits. We turned it off in the credits because
You're better off.
You missed
what could there possibly be? But I really liked that that LaFonda was this real person who wanted to improve Kip, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's adorable. I was really afraid with the LaFonda as the name. I'm like, oh no, what is going to happen? And then she was lovely, and I'm like, oh, Kip got a girlfriend. It was good. Now I don't know what he was trying to do with his head wrap and.
It's a good look. It's a solid look.
What a solid step forward for diversity casting.
Oh, man.
But I think that's, and this is probably one of the things I don't like about this movie, is I feel like they do set up a lot of things that are potentially like, what's going to happen at the prom? Oh, what's going to happen?
Right.
And there's no payoff for any of it, which I'm happier because I hate that kind of humor where it gets all slapsticky, but they certainly set that up a lot. Like, get ready, here comes the wackiness. And really, no.
But then it was just like everybody else's prom. It wasn't over the top. It was just like anybody's.
I think our prom was over the top.
The one thing I think that I will give them the most credit for is the amazingness of the fact that even the most popular kids in school, even Haley Duff's character, right? Summer's character, who is like obviously the most popular, has got it all together, is still incredibly lame, right? As they recognize that all things in high school are incredibly lame. So like the routine, the dance routine with Summer's friends is incredibly lame. Summer's speech is incredibly lame.
Oh, yeah.
So that is so great to see that it's like, yes, Napoleon is obviously in a whole different category on his own, but even the popular kid stuff, that what's popular in high school, is still incredibly lame.
Yes.
It's the anti-Mean Girls.
Yes.
Yeah, in a way, I felt like this movie needed the stakes of what a movie down the line about a high school girl would actually have, and that's called Stakes, and the movie's called Juno. Just an actual serious story that was allowed to have, the kind of language and edginess that most high schoolers generally have, while also just commenting on high school, this happens all the time, and having that sort of homely country vibe to it. I just didn't really have that.
I'm just glad this didn't come out when I was in high school, because it would have been very depressing.
Yeah.
It's come out when I was in elementary school, and this is the movie that every boy in my class wanted to watch in 2004 when I was in 5th grade for the summer movie. And I'm at the start of my serious film watching career, where I'm like, oh, let's watch Indiana Jones. Oh my gosh, let's watch Secret of NIMH. And they're like, Napoleon Dynamite, idiot. And then we watched it, and I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, I've gone to a dance with a date, and she went off with other people. I've had that happen.
Especially with several of us, coming from Blackhawk, where there were a ton of kids in FFA. There were farms all around. This was
there still are
the middle of nowhere with the internet is dial-up. And
this cow got into the onion patch.
It's been tainted by bleach.
Oh
yes.
my God.
That was a great one. Tainted by bleach. Have him drinking bleach.
What? That was really funny.
Terrible.
Yeah.
That was good. Someone should steal that.
And the shooting of the cow.
Yeah. All the kids are watching on the bus. That was good.
Well, see, and I just thought it was the best dance scene of the entire 2000s.
So
that was amazing.
I don't know. I feel like they had to film that the way they did to try to make it look as funny as it actually played out. Like if you actually pay attention to what he's doing, it's not actually worth watching for 3 minutes. It's amusing, but it goes on a little long.
But if you set that to like Mr. Cellophane from Chicago, it's perfect. You can look right through me and never know I'm there.
When I love the way it ended.
Not sitting in public. Imagine the people are looking at it right now.
Runs off stage.
Yeah.
So Dave shared this link of the Utah State Fair.
Oh boy.
Horses are magnificent. They can be ridden on and they can pull a sled. But did you know that the first horses were invented by Utah State Fair scientists to defend pioneer farms of old from wild Sasquatch attacks?
Oh my gosh.
Who won?
What?
Who won the bet on?
Do you see any flipping Sasquatches around here?
Oh my gosh.
Can I have a turn?
Oh, Wes Anderson directed that scene.
That is excellent.
And at this point, he was taking any money he could get.
Yeah.
Back in the Wild West, people used to fight in like 50 duels a day. But then the Utah State Fair discovered a better way to settle all those blood feuds.
That kangaroo looks pretty good.
It's a Totzilla, and it should look
A
good. I baked my
Totzilla.
butt off.
Yes, it's
Look up Napoleon Dynamite honk for fonk.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Those are funny.
There's one more.
All
There's
right,
one more.
One more. Here it comes.
All right.
In days of yore, the Utah State Fair didn't have sweet rides like the Scrambler, Rocco Plane, the Octopus.
What about the Deeper?
You're right. Instead, they had the Box of Wonders. Ready to go?
I love that puts the tape right over his hair.
Oh.
The hell?
Pretty much the worst ride ever.
Oh.
All right, we got this.
Cashing in.
Those are authentic FFA jackets too.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was no shame.
Oh, these okay.
These are not them.
Oh my goodness, it's just getting worse.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Who throws a steak at somebody?
DWIs, reckless driving.
Yeah.
.com.
Be sure with me.
Wow. That's
Just-
It was
Yeah.
crazy for a while. It was just
Yeah.
everywhere.
Just everyone was trying to do it. And then that kind of humor was just like, it paved the way for smart writing like The Office. Now my score will be lower.
They're selling out made Adam lower his score.
What, the Iowa State Fair ones? That one made him lower his score?
That's
terrible.
funny. That's funny.
Oh, wait, Gary Turner's in the comments. What's up, Gary? I think the movie appeals to non-popular kids, which most of us were, but it was too awkward to enjoy primarily because I don't think the cast was very talented.
Wow.
Well, if the lead character got paid $1,000, you don't have a bunch of professionals.
$400,000
Clearly,
Hi.
Well, I think the biggest thing it just suffers from overall is that Napoleon is clearly on some sort of spectrum, and we've kind of gone a long way since kind of dealing with that kind of humor too. He's creative, but he's almost so awkward that you're wondering if he has something, and it kind of turns into.
That's not translating at all as
Do you?
oh, if you read any review about that's modern, it absolutely feels that he probably has Asperger's. Is mostly what he's portraying throughout the
Which
movie.
they don't even call it Asperger's anymore.
No, it's not.
Well,
No.
I don't. I'm
They
not
changed the
getting
name.
that
It's
vibe at all.
Ass Hot Dogs now.
Oh, no.
And the other thing too is you never really hear, and I'm fine with not hearing why, but it's interesting. You never hear the backstory of, they're obviously raised by their grandmother.
Right.
You don't know why. Given that his brother is 16 years older than him, you
Yeah.
don't know how, Napoleon may have been raised by his grandmother his whole life, and she doesn't seem like the most engaged parental figure. So I think a lot of what he is just a result of an extremely odd upbringing.
Speaking of the most engaged parental figure. Wait, I lost the button. There it is.
One ring to rule the moon. One ring to fight.
It's Brittany.
Hello, Brittany.
Hello. We are coming
Well, now
home
you're on
as
the
fast
spot.
as we
You
can.
haven't heard what we had to say, and you have to tell us what you think of Napoleon Dynamite.
I know this is the worst because I was trying to listen and I couldn't hear it. My phone was giving me issues and it kept freezing and I was whatever. My phone fell in the toilet, so
Nice.
it's mostly dead. It doesn't.
Put it in
work right.
rice.
I saw that in a show once. Yeah.
We usually do that. That usually works. It's supposed to be water resistant, so it should have been okay. But it's anyways. So it's just been freezing and not working.
Water resistant, and you dropped it in the toilet. That's your problem.
That's fair.
It's not urine resistant.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't any in there yet.
Wow.
I was walking into the bathroom and it just jumped.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
It's amazing how things land in there all the time.
All the time. My shirt fell in there the other day.
Can we consider this a time travel movie or not?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I always thought that's what was going to happen.
Attempted time travel anyway.
Oh, man. Dan, you would have totally bought one of those in 1980.
I'm so excited about that.
Complete with the Dymo label maker labels.
Oh, yes.
What if I got one right here?
There we go.
It's actually a 3-hole punch. I just figured it would show up funny.
So what has been the consensus so far? I don't need Joe to say everything again.
We haven't done
'cause I know
score
that would be-
yet.
Yeah.
But Gary thinks the Steelers should draft Uncle Rico a quarterback.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So he gives a rookie one season, then he gives up on him?
There are those who found Napoleon's character annoying, but overall, people have been quoting the movie. Obviously, there are redeeming qualities of the movie that
It's
people
extremely
found.
quotable.
So speaking about the grandma, I was kind of disappointed. She kind of didn't like. She had a pretty short role in this.
Yeah.
I was hoping she would have been in there longer. She was a little more dynamic than most.
You got to see her riding the buggy on the dunes.
They could only afford to pay her $500, so they only had her for a few days.
God.
She's like, as long as I can ride a 4-wheeler, right?
It's just funny hearing someone say as a joke, if the coach would have just played me, I'd be in the NFL now. Blaming the coach, because I had the exact same thing happen at Avonworth.
Dan
when I
would
was
have been-
coaching, that one of the players said I ruined his college career because I didn't let him play varsity.
I have known people who felt the same way, who felt that in baseball the coach never let him play the right position, didn't know how to use him. He could have been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know somebody who said that if I had let her swim, not this one, that she'd be in the Olympics.
Who was that?
Skating?
Well, I was
Or she'd be an Olympic skater.
Oh, if you let her swim, she'd be an Olympic skater. I love that.
It wouldn't have happened. It wasn't her.
Especially the first half of the movie. It reminded me the delusional characters who thought they had talent in so many different ways. It reminded me of the early days of American Idol, when you would have these singers come on who could not carry a tune, my whole family tells me I'm great, and just
I bought music by William Hung.
And I can dance too. I can sing and dance.
She bang.
It's awful.
Oh my goodness.
And Dietrich Bader as Rex.
Yeah, he was good.
He's always fun.
Yeah, like
always fun.
He's got that voice
Hard
also
between
kind
him
of
and
like
Kip was hysterical.
his voice is down there just like Will Arnett.
He just kept slapping him in the head. Ow!
That's awesome.
Speaking of slapping him in the head, Eric's looking like, who's here? Who's here? Nobody's
Wait,
here.
what did I miss? Who's getting slapped in the head now?
Should we start scoring so we can slap in the head and figure out what we're watching next week?
The EriDan rating bot 6000 is now activated.
Calculating.
All right, time to rate it 1 to 100. Stacy, we start with you.
1 to 100.
I know. So I think I'm going to give this. I'm going to stick with what Rotten Tomatoes kind of average in there, about a 74, because it's not horrid. It was mildly entertaining. It's quotable. There was nobody in this movie who I recognized, not a person, except Dietrich Bader. Who?
You didn't recognize Haley Duff from The Wedding Pact with
I
Crystal
noticed.
Davia?
I was like, I don't even know who that is. I said that's Hillary Duff's sister. I didn't even know she had a sister.
And John Grise too, I recognized.
So,
Uncle Rico.
I did not recognize him at all.
I recognize the grandma.
Reagan recognizes a lot of people.
She sold Jennifer Aniston and Owen Wilson Marley.
Wow.
Another movie. Okay, so yeah, 74.
I recognized all 181 students from that school.
Oh, that's.
I recognize the llama.
You coached most.
Yeah, the llama.
Tina.
Eat the ham.
All right. Reagan, Wade, who's next?
So I did like the time travel scene there. I kind of thought it reminded me of Strange Brews. Remember?
Oh my!
5
Or Weird Science.
10-point tune-up. Yeah. And, so I'll give it an 80 because of that. That he
All
actually
right.
tried it. That was pretty funny.
Nice.
Reagan.
I don't know. I had never seen this either. I just knew my sister really loved it. Her and one of our friends used to be like obsessed with it. I knew nothing about it, but they were like, vote for Pedro. And I was like, I don't know who that is. Like, so that's how it was growing up. But I was really like overwhelmed with like how underwhelming it was. Like I just was really thrown by that. Like there were things that were really funny, like some parts of it that I was just kind of like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's funny parts like that to me, but there was nothing that really like stuck out to me that like, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't feel like he was on a spectrum or anything. I felt like it was like you get that one weird kid at school and you like see into his life. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt this was. Like I didn't really feel like it was one of those like underdog stories either. Like I thought it was like too awkward to be that. So there was just a lot. There was a lot of it that I was like, oh my God. Like it just did not, it was just like a step. I don't know. It was funny, but yeah, I don't really know. I guess I'll go with a 70 because like it wasn't terrible, but like I just was confused.
All right. From the comments, I enjoyed the movie more than I remembered. This is Amanda, correct? Yeah, that's Amanda.
Yep.
I don't think it's amazing, and there were bits that seemed to drag, but there were funny moments. Nothing particular I disliked. 73.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gary Turner with a score.
What?
Overall, I think this movie's overrated. I generously give it a 62 as it has a few funny moments.
Mhm.
I got a
Speaking of
40
62,
archives.
Hey, you're
1962.
exactly right.
Really?
Well, later this year, anyway. It's funny because I saw this movie not when it came out. I saw it after the craze had worn off for the first time. It was probably like 2 or 3 years after it came out. And I liked it, but was like, okay. I actually liked it better this time. I think it's a movie that does sort of grow on you a little bit with repeated showings. And not close together. I wouldn't watch it again next month kind of thing, but it's, as I said, there's nothing really bad that happens to anybody. There's nothing. Yes, some kids get bullied at school. We've seen that.
Right.
You know, the guy oversteps his bounds with the guy's wife and gets his arm a little messed up, but it'll be fine. You know, it's just a slice of life comedy. There's nothing assuming about it at all. And I think it's the kind of movie that we would rate higher if it hadn't done so well and become such a craze. If it had made, $2 or $3 million and been a moderate success for a guy's first real movie kind of thing, then I think we would probably be like, yeah, that's a little sleeper movie. That's kind of fun. But because it became such a hit, like Gary was saying, I think it's overrated. I'm giving it people got sick of it. People got worn out on it. And so that probably affects some people's ratings. And I can understand that. There are definitely movies I rate lower because I'm just so sick of hearing about them. And I think they are overrated. This one, though, I don't think it's overrated. I think it's just being viewed as a big movie, and it's not. It's a little movie.
Right.
And doesn't try to do much, but what it tries to do, it does effectively. And I'm surprised at myself for giving it an 82.
Wow.
82.
Knowledge.
Scott.
Hello. So, the best movie I could probably compare this to make my point is actually A Christmas Story. This is a fun movie about growing up, but whereas that movie had the nostalgic factor and the element of a holiday to work off different scenarios and has some fun with it, and also was based on the book, this purely just trying to get its humor out of the removal of not only Napoleon, but his entire town from the reality that he was growing up with. This was the early 2000s. It was a period not only after 9/11, but also after the 90s, where everything was just high energy, high tech, over the top zaniness. And to have this story just simply rely on the simplicity of life and the awkwardness and the gaps you can find in between, I think is usually where it gets that style from. And that's, given the fact that there's still some really ridiculous redneck stuff that we see in it. So I think I can kind of appreciate it also as a movie that really elevated a lot of indie movies that followed probably in the next 10, 15 years. This had a budget of $400,000, made 100 times more the money. If you're a studio exec looking for ways to get a big buck, now you're looking at people who now have that technology readily available to them, and they just know you need to have some C-list stars / siblings of A-list stars to make your movie happen.
Siblings of B-list stars.
Yeah, it's a tableau, and there's funny moments that hit and funny moments that miss, and it all depends on what your energy is and how much you can deal with the absurdism of nothing. So I feel like my score kind of reflects that in a bit. It's a little bit higher than the Rotten Tomatoes just because it is an important movie. But, it's a comedy that is actually not of its era, and it's worth watching just to know what it is. So I would say probably for me, it's about 77.
77. Brittany.
Oh my goodness. So I was in very I guess formative years when this movie came out, without giving an age, because I'm older than some of you and younger than the rest of you. And so this, like, for me, and I was the extremely awkward kid at school who didn't really fit in anywhere, was kind of like, I wasn't like well, okay. Anyways, I love.
How awkward were you, Brittany?
I was really, it was bad. It was really bad. It's fine. So I don't know. I loved this movie. I quoted. I was in school in the era of you go to Hot Topic and you buy the sweat wristbands that
and the metal belts.
Yes. Yep. And so, I mean, I was like decked out head to toe and like vote for Pedro, like Tina, you fat lard, come get some dinner. Like I quoted it. I still, even to this day, I catch myself and almost like forgetting where it's from, but not really being like friggin' idiot. Like, gosh, like I just do. Like that's and
Freaking idiot.
Yeah, friggin' idiot. And so I think one of the things I noticed watching it this time is like there's no like actual like plot to the movie. Like I'm sure you guys have had this discussion because like I'm late, so I missed it. But like there really is no. It's literally just watching this kid's life.
It's just a slice of life. Yeah.
There's no like, oh no, now what? And like just none of the main elements that make a story, which this time I feel like made it a little harder to watch because I'm like, okay, like, you know, I want the story part. But man, like the nostalgia trip from this was like, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And like I caught things that I didn't catch before because I was young enough that there was some innuendos that I missed. And so like now I'm picking up on those and I'm like, wow. Like, and it just like even now today, some of the stuff in there, I was like, this movie would be so blacklisted today because of some of the stuff and the way like how sensitive people are about things. But I loved it. And I would watch it again. And someday I will show it to my kid and she can learn, gosh, friggin' idiot. And it will all make sense. And I think
that's why mom calls me an idiot. No,
that's why mom calls me a friggin' idiot. I think I'm going to go with Dave at an 82.
And how sweet was Deb?
Oh my gosh. She was the sweetest.
I love her.
Yeah.
With her Scott's business.
All right. Here's this. As you guys were all talking, the thing that popped in my head is this is one of and Scott kind of nailed it with Christmas Story. This is one of those movies where you go, is this good?
Right.
Like the whole time you're watching, you're like, am I enjoying this? And then when it's over, you're like, oh, all right. I like that.
I like that.
I didn't see it when it was in the theater. I probably saw it a few years after. So it's been 15, 18 years. And I don't think it's overrated. I don't think it's underrated. I think it's just rated. Rated PG-13 for suggestion. No, I don't know. It's rated.
PG.
It was just PG?
Yeah.
All right. Parental guidance suggested. Check with your parents.
No time travel.
It's sort of time travel.
Oh no, that's why they have a PG.
Oh.
Don't try that.
It's a nice little movie. I think it's very well done for the budget. Yeah, the actors they're all pretty much unknowns and relatives of slightly knowns. I do think it is weird that both Napoleon and Pedro, the actors in real life, are identical twins. Not of each other, obviously.
Right.
And I think that there's a movie they should have done with their twins.
Yes.
I mean, the four of them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a
Star Wars.
They should have done an alternate universe. Like he tries to do the time travel thing, and they flip into an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Luke, I'm your identical twin brother.
Yeah.
They're popular and they're not.
Yeah, they're totally popular. Straight hair.
The one has a goatee.
Better movie.
Yeah, that would have been Napoleon Dynamite.
Ooh.
Electric Boogaloo. So I'm going to go with. I mean, I think it's a B movie, like as far as score wise. So I got to go 80.
Wow.
That's where I got to go. We don't have my mother. We don't have Adam, but we do have.
We got me,
Eric Schlumbacher.
Which ultimately, this isn't my movie. No, I do not enjoy a movie where the main character is the butt of the joke, right? Like that to me is not. I just don't enjoy that, right? And I feel like this entire movie is making fun of Napoleon for the most part. I think there are some good jokes. I think it's just okay. I think it's fine. It's fine. Right? Is it great? No. Now, is it interesting because it was done on such a low budget and made so much money? Sure. If you're going to study film, eventually, yeah. I disagree with Dave. I don't think it gets better with repeat watching. I think it gets much more tired the more I've watched it. This was the second time, and I don't think there'll be a third time. My wife loves it, but she enjoys movies that are a little, rednecky humor or sort of, that are like that. So she enjoyed watching it. I got through it. And I'm like right between the critics and the Rotten Tomatoes audience. I ended up at a 73. So, and then Dan's mother watched it.
She also gives it a 62.
Nice.
Well,
that's a 52. Never mind.
And Adam gives it. Watching this about halfway through, I was sitting around 55, but at the end of the movie, I was so annoyed by Napoleon and his character. It fell down to a 38.
Wow.
Still pretty high.
Still feels
Not
pretty
even
high
a
for Adam.
visible by 5 number.
I actually realized I forgot to mention. I agreed with Stacy that the first half, I was sitting here going, "Oh, this is going to be a slog." But the further it went in, once you got to know the characters, I think is what it was. You had because there was no real introductory moment. I'm going to explain the origin story. It was just here they are, and you had to get to figure out who these people were, and then it's sort of about the halfway point. It's like okay, and you can sort of then enjoy the interaction of the characters more.
It's kind of like being with them in a way. You like just people and you're like, oh, here they are. These are the people I know. This is how they've lived their lives the whole time I've known them. That's
the Three Stooges had kids and abandoned them. That's pretty much what these people would be.
Yeah, no, I wasn't interested until somebody got hit with an orange. I thought that was so funny. That was my favorite part of the whole movie.
That's funny.
I've done that before.
All right, Napoleon Dynamite coming in on the third page at a 71.08, beating out the Goonies.
Wow.
And not quite Back to the Future 2.
Wow.
Oh, that's bogus. Back to the Future 2 should not be on page 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who put it there?
Wait a second.
Not me.
What's wrong? You have it Napoleon Dynamite 71.
Yeah, it's
keep going.
Wait, you're right.
It's
It's
low and ice still.
Two more.
Too low. It did beat out Back to the Future 2.
But John,
Oh no.
John Green
does not need a sequel. But I'm telling you,
Well, nothing needs a sequel, but people need money.
There you go. Beating out Midnight Run. How's that?
Oh my God.
They're doing a sequel to Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Johnny Depp's going to be in that one.
Winona Ryder will be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Willem Dafoe's going to be in it.
Jenna Ortega's in it.
That's correct. Jenna Ortega.
And Michael Keaton's
Basically,
in it.
whatever energy spectrum you have, that all the people who are on either side of it are going to do a movie together.
Exactly.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I never mind
Cash
seeing
that
Michael
in.
Keaton in
Cash
other movies.
that
I still
in.
don't think it needed a sequel.
Let's pick our next movie.
Oh, wait a second, Scott. Slow down. Let's pick our next
My
movie.
battery's dying.
Oh,
He's so excited.
If only
like
there were a way
the
of
shirt, Scott.
charging.
I will too, Adam. That's a theater film for sure.
Yeah, I'm pumped about
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. I love Beetlejuice, but I'm not sure of sequel. I mean, I loved City Slickers, but I was not happy watching City Slickers 2. I loved Arthur, but Arthur 2 is a train wreck.
Love on the Rocks.
I'll watch City Slickers 2 before I watch Napoleon Dynamite again.
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
All right. It's the Wheel of Dave. Let's see. Here we go.
Dave,
A couple of spots here on the wheel, Dave.
It's so scary.
this is your time, Dave.
It's scary.
Gary, you still on?
Jeff
Gary,
Lynn.
Gary would get a spot if he's still on.
That is correct. Actually, I've changed the way I've been doing that. So no, you get a spot for next week when you vote. So your spots for this week don't apply till next week.
Oh, but Gary's here.
To try to avoid anybody who's picked the movie for that week from getting the chance to pick the movie for the next week.
He's automatically disqualified.
Come on, Dave.
All right, here we go. Let's do this thing. Who's going to pick our movie for next week? That honor belongs to
Dave.
It's Reagan.
Oh my God.
The Rider apocalypse continues.
You can't have very many on there.
It is the month of Rider.
Oh no.
Once again.
Bench warmers. Do it.
All right, I'm out. Peace, y'all.
All right, Scott's like, oh, forget it. I don't want to hear about this. All right, so while Reagan takes careful consideration about what movies she might want to throw at us. We will talk about what else people have been watching.
Reagan and I went to see Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret last night.
Was that good?
It was so good.
It was so good.
Brittany, I will go with you, man.
It's
I
got
will
great
go with you
reviews.
to go see it. It was so good.
Okay, for real. Come up. Let's go.
I will. Sunday, I'll be there at the beach.
They made a date.
I
Dave,
don't
did you
think
have
I
a
knew they
question?
had made that into a movie.
I just said it's gotten great reviews.
You know what? When we saw the trailer, it looked really well done, and I thought, that's a book I read. Reagan's like, I don't know if I read this. I'm like, do you know you? You didn't.
Do you know you? Do you know
Yeah,
you?
I can't read.
She doesn't like to read.
That's why I'm a lifeguard.
But anyway, it was really, really adorable. If any of you have seen Pittsburgh Dad's short film, it was filmed like that, in my opinion, and just had that same feel to it. I could be wrong about the filming style and how it was done, but it felt like that. Very
Well, that
nostalgic.
font really sets the era, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was nostalgic. It was the story I remembered. Now, some of the book I don't remember. It's been a long time. It's been 44 years probably since I read it, but so much of it was there, and the thing I liked about it, Reagan. First of all, the mom is from
Regina George.
Is Regina George from Mean Girls,
And she's so the opposite in this movie.
And the funny thing about this movie is this is a real teen girl movie with the real problems, not the Regina Georges of life.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
It's so like
I
remember
will
the
tell
book.
you, this is not a movie for guys. In my opinion, I think you guys would be bored. You don't have daughters. Well, Dave, you do, but I still don't know if you'd be into it. But it's
Margot went to see it. She really liked it.
good.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think it's a movie for
It had her
women.
name all. It had her name all over it.
Yeah,
Right?
it has to go.
Exactly. So but it was excellent, and
It was really
I
good.
really enjoyed
Like
it.
I give it like a 98%. Like I loved it. It was really good.
Yeah, I need to see. There's a couple parts of the book that I very, very distinctly remember that I'm curious if they'll be in there.
Right.
Oh,
Cool. Well, once you see it, I'm curious to hear if they were.
it was so
Oh,
good.
I need to see it.
I'll go up there. My plan is to go up on Sunday anyway. So let's do it, Brittany.
Let me see. I might actually be free Sunday.
That'd be so fun.
Sorry, Richard, you're on baby duty.
He got a thumbs up.
I am going slow, but I have watched a second Wild Wild West episode, so I'm two episodes in.
I have watched about 8.
Good. Are you mixing in different seasons?
I am, because it completely seems irrelevant.
It is. It's not. It's,
Probably
they're
the
all
it's the
standalone.
only show that we've done so far, which literally does not matter what order you watch them in. At all.
It doesn't. It doesn't. The only thing
Which is
that
great
matters-
for this kind of viewing.
The only thing that matters is that each, in my opinion, and several other people say, each season is its own entity in a way of how it was filmed, how it evolved.
They changed producers multiple times, and it shows.
All the time. Yeah, and the directors too.
Yeah.
And the executive producer died before it
Fell
even
down the stairs.
off the ground. So
It is yet to live up to my memory of the show.
oh, that's too bad. I understand that, though. I do understand that though. I don't watch it like I did 15 years ago.
I hadn't seen an episode in at least 30 years.
Right.
And
Me neither.
probably closer to 40. And the two I've watched, I enjoyed. You know, but I am curious because they're both from season 1, so I'm going to jump into season 2 soon and get to the color episodes. And yeah,
I watched the season the episode in season 2 with Sammy Davis Jr.
Which is one of the worst ones.
And I'm like,
My
wait,
least favorite.
wait, I have to watch that.
It's one of my least favorite. That it was him and who's the other guy? The other guy.
Peter Lawford.
Yes, Peter Lawford.
Yeah,
that is one of my least favorite episodes. I can't.
I mean, it was as fine as the other ones had been. It's like, all right, just more of
but the
same.
stars they had on that show and guest stars, I mean, man,
Yeah, they were doing all right.
It's almost Batman-like with the quality of the guest stars they had.
So next week we'll be talking Wild Wild West, but I have been watching.
Is it next week?
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Good job.
I'm so
Eric doesn't
thrilled.
know where he is.
Can we just be done with May? Would that be all right? I'm just done.
Not yet. Not yet. We're not ready yet.
Gary's watching the Kraken, the Seattle Kraken, mind you.
So my mom.
Release the Kraken.
Kraken stars. He's just Kraken stars.
I've been binge watching Supernatural.
Oh.
When my kid is asleep at nap time, I can't watch it when she's awake. But
if I'm not mistaken, both Rick Springfield and Debbie Gibson do guest roles on Supernatural.
Oh my goodness!
I'll have to keep an eye out for them. I haven't seen them yet. I have my Supernatural shirt on, actually. It's Sam and Dean, and it says driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his cake hole.
They had a lot of seasons of Supernatural.
15.
That show went on much longer than I would have ever guessed.
No Simpsons, but
but it was no Simpsons. So, you know.
I of course mentioned that I don't know if I finished it, but last we talked, but Rabbit Hole, I went down that rabbit hole and finished Rabbit Hole on Paramount Plus. If you like 24, you'll love Rabbit Hole.
Really?
Kiefer Sutherland at his finest.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I have it. I did watch another episode of the Stephen Merchant series. Why do I keep forgetting the name?
Serial killer?
No. The one that we watched.
The Outlaw.
Outlaw. It's good. It doesn't draw me in yet, but I enjoy it when I watch it.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. It does. It gets better though. It's good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll stick with it, but I'm not compelled at all to binge. So I'm watching like an episode a week or so.
That's good. That's normal.
Yeah.
Be normal. Just be normal with that one.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Did I mention Diplomat a few weeks ago?
I don't know. Who was in that one?
Netflix. Carrie Russell. Really good show.
No.
Yeah, I saw her plugging it on some talk show, but I don't know really much about it.
Also, if you haven't watched Ted Lasso yet, it's coming to an end, I think.
Well, there's still some debate because it was planned to be 3 seasons, and they're finishing the 3rd season. But there's obviously a strong financial motivation to try to figure out a way to do a 4th. So I don't know that they've officially announced it's over.
What's he on? He's on Apple?
Yeah.
Apple Plus, yeah.
Boy, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Too many services.
Oh, indeed.
All right,
But
Reagan,
who's your thing of Disney
Reagan,
Plus?
do you have an idea?
Yeah, I do.
She knows. She knows.
Oh, that's a scary grin. That's a scary grin.
Yeah, well, so I wanted to watch The Tomorrow War, but it's going to go a lot better with the double feature. And the double feature, I'm not going to talk about it much, but I had one specifically for the double feature because it's not big enough to do as like a one thing. But I think Tomorrow War would work better with that one. And so now I'm stuck between 2, of course. I really want to watch Ambulance. I really want to. I get this every time.
Turns its head again.
So I just really want to watch it, but I'm also like, I was thinking about like a couple other Disney movies or something, but
just go with Ambulance.
I'll just go with Ambulance. I feel like I gotta do it.
There it is.
Ambulance.
Yeah.
Ambulance.
But it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's not.
It's a lot's not available yet.
It's
it is.
playing on Prime Video for freezies. You can watch Jake Gyllenhaal drive an ambulance.
It's a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Action.
It's going to be as loud as can be,
thriller, horror, crime, drama.
Yep.
It is. It's a lot, and that's why I was like, "See, I don't know," because I have another one that I could pick.
No,
but
pick what you like.
I just like this one.
I have just never seen a Michael Bay movie I've liked, so maybe this will be the exception.
She's been talking about this movie for weeks.
Well, I bought it the other day because it just. I don't know. I guess it's like the suspense. Like I like that stuff. I like the constant. Like I like that, and it just kept my intention the whole time. It's not like the best movie I've ever seen, but like I don't know. I just really liked it.
Wow.
It won't be, Dave. Whatever you said earlier.
What's that?
Whatever you said earlier, Adam said it won't be.
You might like it.
It won't be the first Michael Bay movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ambulance.
6888.
Yeah, the audience seemed to really enjoy it.
See, yeah, I liked
The
it.
most popular, The Land of Gold. We'll have to watch that.
No.
Action, mystery, and thriller. There's
Well,
so
it's
many
action. It's
genres.
Michael Bay. So
it's so many genres.
It's just really heavy.
The best Michael
There's
Bay
not
movie
much.
I've seen, and it's not great, is The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock's not bad.
Because that has Sean Connery.
Welcome to The Rock.
But it's not great, but it's
Gods
okay.
and monsters. Welcome to The Rock.
You shook your head to that one.
Yeah, I'm at The Rock, man.
Sean Connery has the same accent, whether he's playing a Russian or a
Yes.
Brit or an American or.
I'm from South Carolina. But not as bad as Michael Caine. So Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis says that it's a 3-year story that they wrote. This is the end of this chapter, but if there's more, they'll have to do more, but it will end.
If there's more,
this will end.
There's more.
Yeah, they're getting free iPhones for life. I'll tell you that much.
Wow.
Wowzers.
We
There are a
finished
lot of-
Jane the Virgin. Finally.
Oh my gosh, it was so boring, the ending. I was like, why did I waste my life on this show? Like,
There are few things more annoying than a series you invest in, and they actually get a chance to do a proper finale, and they swing and miss.
Yeah.
Swing and miss.
Seinfeld's that way.
like I liked the Chuck finale better than I liked this one, and that one hurts a lot.
The whole season was just kind of, oh, let's tie this bow. Really nice.
Let's kill this person. Get her
Let's
out
make
of
it
the way.
all normal.
It did make American Ferrero star though.
That's not who it is.
I thought it was. That's not
No,
Gina
Gina Rodriguez is Jane. America Ferrera is Ugly Betty.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking Ugly Betty. I had the wrong series in my brain.
But you know what? I thought it was her too at first. I'm like, man, she is
Yeah,
so much
she's
cuter than
kinda-
I remember.
We only watched like 2 or 3 episodes of each and gave up on both of them, so I don't remember them too well.
It was, I did enjoy it for the most part, but the last season got boring. That's all.
Yeah.
So I recommend.
There were a lot of shows that overstayed their welcome a little bit. 24 overstayed its welcome.
Yeah.
They made more.
But now it's Rabbit Hole.
His daughter overstayed.
Oh, Elisha Cuthbert. Yeah, that got so annoying. Ooh.
That made the good tension for it.
Seriously, Reagan was a baby, and I still have PTSD from that. I hated her. Oh. It's okay.
Please. Just wanted to see your dad.
I think of the show that I can think of that blew an opening, that had a great first season and can never figure out a way to follow up on it, was Heroes.
Yeah. Save the cheerleader, save the
A
world.
really good first
Interesting.
season.
I just heard a little bit about somebody talking about Heroes.
Well, the writer's strike hurt the second season.
Exactly, right? They were saying how that basically they had figured out a way to wrap it up, and so they decided to try to because of the writer's strike. And then because they weren't sure if they were going to come back after the writer's strike. But then when the writer's strike ended, they were like, all right, we're coming back. But we already kind of tied things up nicely.
The entire second season, they went back in time and spent most of it back in the past in a weird way. And then the third season, they just had way too many characters they were trying to juggle.
And George Takei as an evil guy is no good. Oh my.
It's no cop rock.
So the writer's strike, Adam made a comment because the writer's strike, some shows are an infinite hiatus. Not some, almost all will be eventually, because the current rules are, if a show's in production, you're supposed to have writers on staff, even if the scripts have been written.
Yeah.
And so you have to have them on set, and they're not there.
Reality shows are different.
Reality shows are not union, yes. So, and animation was typically not considered. Very few animation is under the union contract. So you may see shows like Family Guy continue.
So
although
is it a lot on hiatus?
It's a lot. It was not a union writer show. It was only a union
good,
actor
yeah.
show. So we will not cross the picket line. However, we're done, so it doesn't matter. All we have left are the 2 visual effects, and then
How long do you think this strike will last? Over under on the length of the.
Considering I read what the writers are asking for and what the producers responded with, this could be very long. But it's also in the point where there's nothing really going on right now. In the typical Like right now is when they're getting ready to ramp up. Like if it's going on in July, it's a problem. Usually May and June.
The other thing too is they're really not asking for that much, but the studios have dug their heels in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Seth MacFarlane did because he is union, and he did say all those shows. Well, one of them's already done. Family Guy's already done for the year, and I think American Dad's got like 2 episodes left. So he's not really giving up a ton by saying he'll go off.
How will this season end?
So Josh is going to go to American University, and I'm going to get a sweatshirt that says American Dad. Good morning, USA.
Trademark.
That show's been on for 21 years.
Oh my word!
Wow.
And Family Guy's been on like 23 and 24.
I really like Seth MacFarlane, but I never found Family Guy funny.
What?
Yeah, there were like
No.
pieces of it that I think are funny, but I've never watched any of it.
Oh
Not
my God.
my show. That's not my show.
I like it because they make fun of everybody and everything. No one can be offended by that show because they
I'm
make
not
fun of
offended,
everybody.
I just don't find it funny.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm saying.
That reminds me of that other time when you didn't find something funny. Oh, we didn't do a cutaway? All right, never mind.
Yeah. Well, when the Simpsons spoofed Family Guy, that was the funniest.
Well, there was one.
Or South Park. When South Park spoofed Family Guy, that's what it was. They did an entire spoof where they were making fun of how Family Guy wrote jokes, and they had a whale picking balls out of a tank and randomly combining sentences together, and those were the Family Guy jokes.
So this morning I was taking Josh to school, and I said, I had a dream last night, and I was on the ferry, but it wasn't the normal ferry. And I was waiting to get on, but I couldn't find my shoe, and it made sense. But I was like, do I go with no shoes or I go walk around with one shoe? Because I obviously have to go buy a pair of shoes. And he's like, hold on a second. He pulls up this clip from Family Guy where Lois starts telling a story about this dream, and he's just slowly backing out of the scene. And he backs so far out of it, he ends up in Bob's Burgers, the show beforehand. And he's like, and Bob says to him, like, oh, you backed out of a wife dream, huh? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're not the only one. He looks over and Homer Simpson's sitting there.
That's the stuff I find funny about
Yeah.
Family Guy.
Yeah.
Those are funny.
Well, I'm
and
sure I can
consider-
find some clips I like, but when I've watched episodes, it's been like, nope, not worth my time.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I think I see that being your kind of humor. It's so weird you don't like it.
I don't know. I just never got into it.
Giggity, giggity.
And I like Seth MacFarlane too. That's the funny part.
Oh man, I like Seth MacFarlane, but I agree. I'm not, And now you're 23 episodes behind. It's 23 seasons behind.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I'll just binge it this week. It'll be fun.
Yeah, why not?
Somebody made a joke the other day, and they said,
the end of the story.
Somebody made a joke the other day. No, it was.
I enjoyed it.
It was. Something. It was like that's what the woman on the American version of The Office said.
Oh.
Instead of that's what she said. They like spelled it out, and I think it was a show in Britain. Oh, it was on Ted Lasso.
Oh.
Of course.
There you go.
Not a huge fan of American Dad, says Adam Jones.
See?
American Dad. However, I do love the alien with the Paul Lynde voice.
I could see that.
Artificial sweetener. That's all I can say is artificial sweetener. It's only because I heard Jason Alexander say it.
I'll take Paul Lynde to block.
Oh, sorry. That was a little more. Oh, Charles Nelson.
Yeah,
Riley.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Crossover.
Good people. Yeah. Oh, he was up in the corner. He was up in the.
And the way he dressed, the flamboyant shirts with the giant collars.
He's a confirmed bachelor.
Yes.
Oh.
That wasn't as creepy though as Richard Dawson kissing all the women on the lips.
Oh my God.
I saw a clip of him doing that to Joyce DeWitt today, and she looked like, "What the
Here,
hell?"
sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family Feud, he would just go down the line and kiss all the women.
I think they did. I think they did that on. That looks like from the Ghost of Mrs. Muir.
It's a little later than that.
They did a Family Guy, if I remember correctly, and he wouldn't kiss Meg.
Oh, poor Meg.
The only thing I remember about Meg is like Peter, he picked his nose and then he said, "Hey Meg, proud of you." And then me and my sister would like fake do that to each other all the time because we watched it on YouTube. And then somebody broke into their house and she came out and was like, "What's happening?" And then Peter beat her with a bat and said, "Oh, you scared me."
I forgot about the kerchiefs. Yes. Yes.
Adam is right. Michael J. Fox documentary called Still. Very good.
Okay.
Still?
It's on Apple TV.
I got rid of it.
Just get a new email address. You get free 3 days. Every 3 days, you get another 3 day free.
Every 3 days.
Oh, it's not even
If you have
good.
Gmail, just use your Gmail name plus. Look at that. Hello, sailor. Oh.
I always thought that Brett Summers was his sister because they had the same glasses.
Brett Summers was married to
those glasses are not hereditary.
I know, but when you're 5, you think they are.
I call those the Morty Seinfelds.
Oh my god! Yes. Oh my gosh!
He had
yes.
the big glasses. My wallet's missing.
But she was married to
Jack Klugman.
yes, which was shocking.
Like Brett Summers, wasn't she just famous for being on game shows?
Yeah,
well,
she
the
was.
Match Game. She was a regular on Match Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was on The Odd Couple once or twice. She played his wife or girlfriend or ex-wife.
Oh, that's right.
Because I was like, it was the only time I ever saw her in anything.
Rafi and I on Saturday were discussing Angeline in Los Angeles, who was probably the first person who was famous for being famous. That's a great picture.
Oh, those glasses, man.
And that Paris
Remember
Hilton
Lynn
was
Ellerby?
famous for being famous.
She also had those giant glasses.
I said Zsa Zsa Gabor, but apparently she actually did something. I know Eva Gabor was on Green Acres.
Eva was on Green Acres, yeah.
What a place to be.
Zsa Zsa was on Pee-wee's Christmas special.
Yes.
Wake up, Eric.
Were we talking sports? What happened?
I don't know. You tell me what happened. I missed it. I fell asleep. I dozed.
Napoleon Dynamite was a sports movie. You know, we had Tetherball.
True.
Yeah. Oh my
It
gosh.
had a pretty good soundtrack too.
Yeah, it was.
It had a wonderful
Of course,
soundtrack.
MTV made it. So
It was
Started
nice
off
hearing
with the white
Forever
Christ.
Young, where it wasn't somebody doing the teen filter on TikTok.
It was actually surprising to me that it wasn't on Paramount Plus because they have a ton of other MTV stuff on there right now. Like, and it was Paramount Pictures and MTV. Like, so it just that surprised me that it wasn't on there.
But MTV back then was owned by Warner, which owns HBO. See, that's all intermingled.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But wasn't it on a bunch of things?
Well, we had watched it on DVD. It was on Hulu, but it was locked.
Yeah, it was locked on Hulu for HBO. If you had to have the HBO add-on,
Oh,
which we don't.
Roku, Amazon. Oh yeah, they're all available if you have.
Yeah, so I rented it on YouTube, which is funny. I used to own it. I don't know what happened to it. I used to own like 6 copies of it.
My sister had it, and she did not have it anymore. I was like, she was, "Oh, I think I got rid of that." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Actually, I probably still have it. It's just not in the case. It's in like the like those big black cases that you used to draw on with the silver Sharpies. That's probably in that.
Yep.
And
With all my
HBO
other
Max
really
becomes Max.
Max. Yeah, what a great name.
Sorry
We'll
about
name it
that,
after
Chief.
the dog in The Grinch. Great idea.
Yep.
HBO Max made Max with the addition of Discovery Plus content. I still don't know why all of them are going with the plus. I mean, HBO at least HBO went Max.
Yeah, it's just so you feel like you're getting something extra.
They should have like Apple Min. You know, it's just
it's the minimum. Light.
Yeah.
LITE.
And minus instead of plus. You could do that. You know, Paramount
That's where
minus.
it's a lot will be on Diet Blockbuster minus.
With ads.
With that.
Right. Exactly.
Oh no.
We'll just do product placement. We won't do ads.
You can get a year free trial. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Okay.
Ambulance.
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 It's a lot.
Ambulance. Woo, woo, woo. It's going to be awesome.
Adam says It's a Lot will be on Tubi. That's his prediction.
2 hours and 16 minutes. Woo.
See, it doesn't feel like it.
That's a long ambulance ride.
Well,
It
with
is
Michael
long
Bay's
ambulance
cut
ride.
length, average cut length, that's about 7,000 scenes. So
Yeah, it's a big. I don't
Thrilling
know.
minute, right?
I was just drawn to it the whole time. I was like,
well, I do like Jake Gyllenhaal. So
and even still too, like I've seen it.
Not
break
after
down
what
the
he
way
did to
through.
Taylor.
she deserved it.
Hey, now.
He went easy on her, if you ask me.
Oh man.
Nah, it's good. The ending still gets me. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times already, like the whole way through. Still goes.
Wow.
It's good.
It's a lot of ambulance.
All right.
Awesome. All right.
All right. Well, there we go.
Well,
Happy May 15th, everybody.
Yeah.
Next week, we will be here Monday night.
Oh, I should have picked Pitch Perfect 2. It came out 8 years ago today. Just kidding.
suggested.
Ambulance two.
Opportunity.
Watch it anyway, just for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Oh,
Song of
if
the
I
South.
could find him, I would.
Oh Lord.
I can.
Lordy, lordy.
All right. Everybody have a wonderful week. Good
You too.
night. See ya. Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.